Now there's an intense wind and the soil's a bit wet. There's really no one direction it can go because I put this in a triangle configuration, right? Hey, it's Greg here with MaritimeGardening.com, and I'm out in the garden today dealing with a lean problem on this apple tree. This tree's about, I think this is year 3 for it. It started off maybe a couple feet high, and now it's taller than me. But one of the problems with it is that it's got a bit of a lean, and it keeps leaning, and it's because of a drainage problem I have in my garden, which I'm dealing with a trench that I'm actually in the process of digging right now. But the tree needs to be staked, and I'm always concerned that the way that I've attached the stake to the bark of the tree, you know, I wrap it around the bark, is affecting the bark in some negative way. I just use rags and stuff like that. But the other day I was in this store we have here called Princess Auto. You can buy stuff from them online. And I noticed that they got these, it's sort of like a Costco-ish type store, but it's full of like stuff that you'd use around the house, stuff you fix things with, lots and lots of tools, of course car stuff, but also like oxyacetylene torches, all kinds of interesting stuff like that. You can buy this stuff online. Anyway, I saw these sturdy tree ties, and there's a piece of black rubber that goes around the tree. So this makes a lot of sense. So today I'm going to stake this tree, and hopefully its leaning days are over. All right, so first things first, I got to get the old ones off, right? So pretty low-tech solution to that problem. Just cut them off with this old knife here. It's just an old steak knife. Pull this out over here. I mean, the old stakes were starting to rot out anyway, I guess. Careful when you're doing this not to damage the tree. All right, so those are out. I should pull this stake. Oh, not much holding that in. All right, good. Okay, so now next step is to get these on the tree, and you know, it's possible I should be making these a bit deeper. And we'll just see how it performs over time and take it from there. I don't want to come out. I'll just take them all out. All right, so these are designed to have like multiple stakes around a really whippy tree. All right, so I've removed all the old ties, and now I'm going to start putting these in. Now these are meant to be kind of close to the tree, so you have to have an idea of which way you want the tree to go before you put them in. And the idea here is that these just give the tree a bit more stability than it naturally has on its own, right? Hope that I haven't put that too far away. Yeah, that's okay. All right, so I'm just bringing it over a little bit, understanding that this has some give as well. Okay. So I used to have a stake here and a rope going diagonally, and I was constantly tripping on it. So with this, you know, I'll put another one over here. Right, I'll put another one. These are just old sticks I got lying around the yard. Doesn't matter so much, right? This tree's a bit odd because it doesn't have a central leader. Doesn't have one main trunk, right? There we go. So you just got to sort of work with what you got, right? I mean, all you're doing here is giving it some stability, you know, an amount of stability that it wouldn't otherwise have on its own. One over here. Now there's an intense wind and the soil's a bit wet. There's really no one direction it can go because I've put this in a triangle configuration, right? There's no direction this can go to any real extent, right? It's got some help. It's almost like someone's standing nearby just helping it out, okay? And this is the sort of thing, it only takes a few minutes to do. But if you don't do it, your trees get an incredible lean. I mean, look at my apple tree over here, for example. Right, this tree, I decided to just let nature take its course, and it leaned way over. You can see down here the bark took a real beating from all that, you know, moving around, right? It's basically, there is no bark at this part of the tree. It's still alive and it's still going, right? But this tree did not, you know, it didn't like what I was letting it do. If I just staked it properly from the get-go, maybe it would have gotten a better start, right? Because, you know, the tree was fine until it started putting on some real mass and weight, and then it just started going crazy. So you can see I've done some weird things to reconfigure the tree, and of course a porcupine got into the garden last winter and did a lot of damage, so I had to remove some whole branches. But anyway, this one here, this is a sweet 16 apple tree, supposed to be really good eating, and hopefully what I've done here will help it out. And of course it's so easy to adjust these. If I see anything looking strange, I can deal with that, you know, over the coming months. All right, so that didn't take too long. Hopefully this tree will have a good season. It doesn't matter what kind of wind and what kind of rain and what kind of elements we get over the course of the growing season. Hopefully it'll stay growing the way I'd like it to grow. A lot of us gardeners, we like to let nature take its course. We like to say, well, let's just see what the tree wants to do, that sort of thing. And you know, I'm a big fan of that way of thinking. But sometimes it's not a matter of what the tree wants to do. It just may be the case that you've planted a tree somewhere where it's really difficult for a tree to grow, and you're 3 years in. You don't want to wait another, you know, it takes like 4 or 5 years for a tree to start producing apples when you plant a whip. So I mean, sure, it makes sense, more sense to plant it in the right place the first time. But many gardeners, it's a learning process, and you usually learn by virtue of your mistakes. That's certainly the case with my apple trees. And that is despite being told where apple trees should be planted. They really shouldn't be planted anywhere where the soil has a lot of moisture in it. Unfortunately, where I live here, in this spot, this property that I own, the tree has to be inside my fence. Otherwise, it just won't, I'll never get to eat the apples. There's too many wild animals outside the fence. And even inside the fence, there's risks. For instance, last year, a black bear climbed the fence and ate all my apples anyway. So it's a learning process, and you just make little adjustments every year. Hopefully one year you figure it all out. Putting these ties onto this tree, hopefully, because they're rubber, because they're soft, hopefully the tree doesn't mind that. That's what they're made for, and hopefully I get a nice, relatively straight, healthy, sweet 16 apple tree. So I hope you found that interesting. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. And until next time, get out there, get at it, have fun in your garden. Thanks for watching.